Are you tired of writing the same email over and over again? Today, I'll show you how to automate your inbox so you can focus on growing your business. I'm going to show you step by step how to do this in under 12 minutes. And don't forget, sign up for the 7-day challenge and free guide to show you exactly how to transform your business today. Let's dive in. I'm going to show you how to automate your email responses in less than 12 minutes using n8n. And if you want the whole breakdown of the workflow for yourself, download our AI agent guide. You'll get this free, the breakdown how to use n8n, and you'll get this workflow for free. So let's first break down what we're doing in n8n. The thing is, if you've never used it, make sure that you look at the link down below. You can start for free, but you're going to start with a trigger that allows you to start with an action, and then you're going to have all of these dominoes fall in place. That's what you're going to have. So if you've ever used Zapier or Make or any kind of automation platform, or you're brand new at this, remember the trigger is what event that you want to kick off everything else. What do you want to happen with all the other workflows? That's the most important thing. So it doesn't matter if you're going to do on-form submission, if you're going to have a email that comes in, you're going to think about what is that trigger? What is that first thing that will happen? And then everything else will fall in place. In the comment section down below, let me know what you're struggling with and where you want to begin. So when we're looking at how to automate your email responses, you've got to first think about, do you want your email responses when you get a new one? Do you want an automated email to go out? Or do you want to review that email as a draft? For me, I would suggest until you get all of your systems in place exactly the way you want it, you would want it to be a draft to make sure the AI agent has done it the way that you want. So let's dive in and see how we would do that. The first thing is we have to think about that trigger. What would the trigger be? It would be a Gmail trigger, and that Gmail trigger would be when a message is received, you would then want to create a draft off of what they said to you. So we connected our Gmail account. We want to have this mode. Every minute we check it. We check to see when there's a new email, and then we're going to see the email received, and we're going to get the message back. Now, if you click this fetch test event, you're going to see the output. You're going to see what the email looks like in a structured data right here. So this is one email we get. And so imagine this is like a database, or you see something like in Excel or Google Sheets. This is just a row of data right here on the left side. So the column is the snippet. We understand what the email is about a little bit. We see also the from column. Who is it from? Who is it to? So this is just breaking down and categorizing all of the information from our email. Great. Now, what are we going to do when we get that email in? Well, we're going to have an AI agent set up. And remember, you can have all of this broken down for you. You can get the workflow. But here we have an agent, and we're using a tool agent this time. There are tons of different types of agents you could use, but we're going to use a tools agent. And when that message comes in, you see right here the text, we are using an expression. So we're getting pieces of JavaScript, and we're being able to understand our message a little bit more so we can decide how to respond to it. So you see on the left side, we're getting the inputs. Remember, the inputs was the Gmail trigger. We're getting an email. So the schema right here, this is just a breakdown of what we're getting from the email, including the snippet, like I mentioned, the from message, and then also we can get the body text as well. So we know a little bit more about the email itself, right? So once we have all of this stuff, this is great information. We're going to structure it so when we get that to the AI agent, it understands what it's taking in. And then we have something where it's called the system message. And here we can decide on, let's break this out for a moment. It's telling us a little bit about who the agent is. So if you look at this, let's see if I can zoom in for a second. We're having the row right here, or the role. So we're seeing that it's an AI assistant specializing in replying to incoming emails to Doc's Gmail. The capabilities: you cannot send emails. You cannot create, it says you cannot send emails. you can create email drafts. Do not hallucinate. So we're giving it parameters and making sure that it's not hallucinating, which means it's not going off the rails and making things up. And our beginner's guide down below, we also have a link. If you want to know more about hallucinations, there is an article from Anthropic about how to reduce hallucinations. So you can, it's a it's a long read, but it's very good. So if you want to know more, it's not a long read, but sometimes it's a little bit detailed or you have trouble with it. You can throw this into ChatGPT to summarize it, or just use Claude to summarize it, so you can understand it fully. But bottom line, you're telling it not to go off the rails. You can add the responses. How are you wanting the responses to be? So right here, we want it to be casual, modern, professional. And then I give it an example of how I want it to respond. And for me, I am trying to respond back to a lot of different sponsorship opportunities. And so I want to make sure that I'm on top of getting the responses quickly to the team and all of those things. So I'm giving it examples of what I want the responses to be like for my emails. So you set up all of these things in your AI agent. Now what? Now you're going to break down what the AI agent will have access to. Now, for the reasoning model, so for the large language model, we're using OpenAI, but you can decide on whatever you want to use here. And then the memory, I'm using window buffer memory. So basically, how much can it remember? So I instead of every time it can't remember back our conversation, I'm having the buffering to be five different conversations, or five different in the chain of conversations. It can remember five different things back, right? So simply put, if I say, "Hey, my name is Doc," I don't have to. The next question that I have, or the next time I have to talk to my AI agent, I don't have to say, "I'm Doc" again, right? I want it to remember I'm Doc. So maybe I want to change the memory to, instead of five, I want it to be 15, right? Because I want it to have it to remember longer as it's going through. This is really important if you're doing more of like a conversational AI, like agent, so that way it can build on the conversation. But then also the tool aspect, I can go to create draft. And so here I have the response, it's a draft, and create. So it will take all of this information, it will take everything from my AI agent, and then it will craft a draft for me in my email. So let's take a look if this works, right? So we have this. Let's run a test flow right here. So you can see it run through. What is it doing? And then based on what's going on, you can also debug and see what's going on. So it says error in the subnode window buffer memory. Okay. And then here it can say undefined. What do I need to do? All of those things. So now I can decide, what do I need to do? Do I need to change certain things? All of those things, depending on what happens. So I'm going through this right here. So we have the trigger worked, executed successfully. And again, depending on what kind of bot you're going to need, it's going to change. And then I can also see the draft that is made. And now it already, from here, it's already giving me a response of what needs to happen. So the draft worked. And when I'm done with that, let me go back. Too many windows open. I can save it, and then I can decide to turn it on, right? So we have it just in test mode. We can turn it on and then go from there. Again, depending on what you're looking for, we might have a memory depending on what we need to happen. Just something to keep in mind. But the breakdown of it firing and all of those things, we're good to go and have it done. In the comment section, let me know, what are you trying to build? Do you like talking about n8n? Is this interesting for your business? What are you looking to do? And remember, there's the guide down below to get started. If you like these tutorials, make sure that you like and subscribe. And if you want us to do more stuff with n8n, let us know in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video.